Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career with a little self-help around the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope that what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's like Bennett. Philip Wilkerson back with another episode of Positive Philter. We have a special guest today, my cousin from the West Coast. So that's actually special because he's coming, how many thousand miles?
I think it's close to 3,000. It's not quite 3,000. It's Seattle, Washington, all the way to the Outer Banks. And so we thought, man, what could be a better thing to do while we're here on vacation than record a podcast? As creative James / Wilkersons are. So now we're doing a podcast. Man, I'm honestly honored to be on this podcast with my cousin, with you, because this is, I listened to your podcast, first of all, but also, just the fact that you're doing this on it feels like a bigger platform now, and to have me on here and to say that I'm a special guest makes me feel all tingly inside.
Tingly.
So appreciate that.
Warm and fuzzy.
Yes, absolutely.
So what are we going to talk about? Not usually. I kind of wing things in life, but
Word.
What we're going to talk about for the listeners?
Well, we've been milling over a couple of different subjects. One that you actually just mentioned about 3 minutes ago was the fact that all of our family members have some kind of creative outlet, and that you want to just discuss like maybe how you got to yours, how I got to mine, and some of our other family members and how they've influenced us.
Yeah, so I guess we're just going to call this one family and talk about that. So, kind of just giving a background to the listeners. I have a big family. My mom has 5 brothers and 1 sister. And so that's a lot of aunts and uncles.
I don't know. I just made a surprise face. Like I didn't, like for real. Wow, you come from a big family. Like I'm part of that family. My dad is your mom's oldest brother. Well, so, everybody's oldest brother.
Yeah. So we come from a lot of, and typically with all our aunts and uncles.
Yeah, but that's how you know it's live and uncut, because I got the family coming in right now.
Yeah,
we're doing a podcast.
We're doing a podcast. You want to say hi?
You got to say hi now since you're over here. Who's this? This is my daughter Jada.
Hello.
And my daughter Alana on camera. She found the camera. But for this, we need you guys to be quiet, so you got to leave. Sorry.
Good night.
See you later. Love you.
Love you. Good night. Oh. We're not editing that out. We're keeping that in.
Why even? Leave it. Stamp that.
That's real life as dads. So,
yeah.
Going back to it, we have a large family. And
Absolutely.
with that large family, it comes, I guess, a lot of, similarities and differences. But I think one thing that ties all my aunts and uncles, and I think trickles down, is that everyone has some kind of creative, smart, brainy thing going on. So, even going back further, my grandma Estelle and our grandfather were educated. Both went to Johnson C. Smith, so big deal. Both being college educated. Grandfather was a doctor. Grandma Estelle, I guess, was she a housewife? I don't remember her job, but she did a lot of things.
Yeah, she was very talented.
But the creative.
She was creative.
The creative aspect, but she was super creative.
Yeah.
She was an artist. She painted. That's what I heard. She painted. Yeah. She drew. She released that as her creative outlet. And then our grandfather was the master of photography, which we have all his photos.
Absolutely.
And so that just kind of like that influence of taking photos everywhere and expressing yourself visually like that, or the art or drawing. And then it kind of trickled down into our aunts and uncles in some form or fashion. Your dad likes to take photos too.
Yes.
Raphael, I take comic books. He's into comic books and that kind of stuff.
All of them had comic books, but also I want to say also that our grandparents encouraged them to explore their outlets. My parents had done the same thing as far as just not just encouraging me to get into whatever I'm into, but to keep pursuing it.
Right. And then like
That's funny.
yeah.
That's funny. Both of our dads just walked in to check in to see what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're just recording.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
live and uncut.
So and then in addition, like Uncle Xander, he's on the far spectrum of artistic
Absolutely.
creativity. And so then it kind of trickled down to us as cousins. So you like to take photos, right? And I don't know.
Yeah, that's my favorite. It's become something that I'm into. I actually didn't realize how much I liked it. I've done it all my life, even with like the disposable cameras and all that. Everybody's done that stuff, even getting into the phones, and everybody has a camera now. But it wasn't until recently that I figured out that I really enjoy it. It's not even that I think I'm good at it. I just like to do it. I like the feeling of it. I like looking at the pictures later. I like sharing pictures with people. And so it's just become a thing that I use as far as like a stress reliever, and it's a hobby. It's something I like to do.
So you say it's a hobby, but when you take photos, right? I've seen in this vacation so far, you just take lots of photos of family and stuff. Do you feel like creatively, like you look for shots?
Yes.
Like you starting to do that, kind of like that thought and
absolutely.
that mindset?
Yeah, I really actually try to, and I didn't think about it that way, but I do. I try to see what I want the camera to see before I take the picture. So if it's like if I walk into a room, for instance, and you're having a conversation with Maria, which is my wife, or having a conversation with one of our cousins or something like that, I try to get an angle to where it shows that it's you that's having that conversation, but also kind of maybe like what you're seeing from your point of view. So I like to take side shots like that, but I try to actually see it in my head before I actually take the picture. It doesn't always work out, but that's what I do.
And then when you say in your creative outlet and things like that, do you find yourself more gravitated to taking pictures of people or like landscapes? Because I know there's a different types of, your focus of your photography. I would say our grandfather really, I think when I look at his old photos, I see him really just trying to capture memories and people. Like it's more like he's a portrait kind of person.
And I think
not so necessarily like landscape or objects or abstract photos with like super deep meanings. His is more like capturing moments.
Yeah, I think I've taken that on as well. Like I want to see memories, moments that when people look at the picture, they can get something from it and grasp onto it. I love to take pictures of like crazy landscapes and things like that too. But I feel like too, like if for me personally, like if there's not like someone in the picture, someone in the picture that I don't know or can't relate to, then I feel like I don't know. I feel like the picture means more when you have somebody in it that you know.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's interesting because, like, it's funny. Like, for the longest time, I didn't think that I had a creative outlet per se. Like, I couldn't draw. I couldn't, draw. I take pictures for fun. But now I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I would say this is a creative outlet. I don't know.
This is absolutely a creative outlet, and it's not only that, but you have the ability to do it. Like I feel very uncomfortable right now, honestly. Like I'm glad that you're having me on here, but I don't feel like I am comfortable doing this, and this is not something necessarily that I would do for relief or like for fun necessarily. But I've seen that you have the personality for this, and not only that, you're the drive for it, and you've been doing some amazing things with. Not only this, but the whole, like, the Positive Philter movement, like, you give people ill feel awards. I don't know if everybody knows that or how much I know you talk about it sometimes, but, like, it's like you're seeking out, at least from my view, it seems like you want to bring people up. You want people to feel good in the moment or in life. And it seems like you've really you have the talent, and it's a creative outlet to be able to do that.
I don't know. I didn't think about it in that sense until like I think that the way that like kind of just going into things and trying new things. I think that the thing I like that this gives me is it's kind of like it's some kind of content driven thing, right? So like I feel like I created this and put it out in the universe, and it's something like I express myself with my words and talking, but it's like it's something tangible, like someone else's photography. It's something that can like be lasting, like like granddaddy's pictures.
Absolutely.
Like I'm capturing moments in a different way, capturing moments with people's voices or stories. I love listening to stories. I love people telling stories, and so I mean, I think that in some aspect, it kind of reminds me of like it gets me connected to my family in some sense where I'm creative too.
Absolutely.
Like sometimes in your families, you feel like you're that one person that misses out on something. Like, if you were like a family of athletes or something, and like you're the one that's like not that athletic, or something like that. And so, like for me,
you're probably the most athletic out of all of us. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but if you were a certain trait, like let's say,
no, I know what
for instance, for instance, all our family is very smart. Like, I mean, granddad on and all the kids,
everybody.
All aunts and uncles.
I don't know if I put myself in that category, but
no, you're smart. Everyone's smart.
I thank you.
We can all hold our own.
I mean, I feel like
we can
as
all
far
hold
as but I mean, academically, like especially like the accomplishments, you guys really see it. If you want to talk about black sheep feeling, I definitely feel that way. It's not that I don't think that I'm intelligent, but as far as like applying myself and I don't know, like working hard at like the academic part of it, that definitely was not me. You got like Aaron's killed that, Lois has killed that. And let's take away from the tangible paper of getting a degree. You're smart because you're very smart. You can hold your own in any conversation that we're talking about in politics. And I'm just saying we're smart. We're intelligent. Like we took an IQ test. We're all smart. So you should not feel like the black sheep in that aspect. And so I think flipping it was like. Oh, and my sister, by the way, obviously.
Yeah,
I had to hit that.
Yeah, she's very intelligent. Yeah, she's probably the smartest. We already. Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't tell you this yesterday. Uncle Kenny was like announced there. He's like, "This is the strongest nephew I got." Me because I'm powerlifting, and he was like, "This is the smartest cousin I got," and he was pointing to Lynette. And then the funny thing in that moment, I wasn't even hating. I was like, yeah, she's the smartest one. like okay, that's
my sister. Facts. I'm telling you, this is a true story. Like I was 4 years old. And I remember it was Christmas or something like that. So I was 4. My sister was barely born. And I had figured out how to, because I got like a He-Man castle for Christmas. And I was so pumped because I figured out how to open the door and have He-Man walk through. So I was like looking up to show that off. This is a weird, I know I'm 4 years old. This sounds like I couldn't remember something like that. But I remember it clearly. I looked up to my parents to show off. I was like, hey, look, I can open this He-Man door. And my sister, who was barely born, started whistling. And everybody was like, is she whistling right now? And the crowd goes over there, and they're like, she's whistling. Like, she was just bored. I was like, man, my sister is amazing. Like she's just been that.
She stole the spotlight.
Well, I mean, it wasn't just that, but it's like you knew there was something special right then. And she is very intelligent. Like you said, a lot of our family is very intelligent.
Yeah. So I mean, but with that being said, I mean we're all intelligent. But I think I guess you can emulate that. So you were saying that you feel that way with accomplishments and degrees part, but then on the flip side, I feel like that sometimes we're like, dang, all my cousins or like they either like really cool, they can dance or into fashion. Like look at Aaron and Lois and all that stuff, or they're really creative, and I'm just
they're on like many different levels. These kids are doing like not just one cool thing, but they're doing like every cool thing.
Yeah, and then I'm like, bro, here's me. Like whatever I could.
I'm older than y'all too, so I always feel like I'm the one like trying too hard to keep up with that stuff.
With the coolness. Really do. Yeah, we're not cool. But this is it. This is my outlet, and this is like something where I'm like, okay, this is where I can display my creativity.
But as far as getting into this, though, how did you come to this idea? Did you know somebody that was doing it, or like
it was random? So I did the Ill Phil Awards for fun.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna record doing Ill Phil Awards. Then I was in my car and I was like, I had a YouTube channel, and I was like, okay, when I'm on my way to work or I'm bored, I'm just gonna continue this like uplifting positivity thing. So I'm gonna record little mini talks in my car, which I call them random rambles.
Yeah, no,
I was doing those,
aware of this.
I was doing those in my car.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, these are cool, but like these are boring YouTube videos because I'm just talking. So I was like, well, if I'm just gonna talk, this is how I ran about. It's like if I'm just gonna talk, then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to talk on a mic and record as a podcast because it seems like more use of my time than just sitting in my car, someone looking at me. So that's kind of how I did it. I was like, it's probably a better outlet instead of like setting up a camera and talking about random subjects. If I'm already gonna talk about subjects randomly with these random rambles in my car, I might as well do a podcast.
Yeah.
And then from how I got to a podcast, I just, like most things that you should do, like advice I'd give someone else, is I just listened to a couple, but then I just said, put it on social media, like, does anyone know anyone that has a podcast or can help me get started? And my friend Sam Nang said, my boy does a podcast. Hit him up.
That's a swell dude.
Yeah, that's
man. I want to start working out. I see the pictures you posted. Like,
yeah, that's it.
I need to start doing something.
And
different
so I
in
was
my
like,
life.
he was like, here's my friend's number. And I'm not shy to call someone new or get some information or do an informational interview or ask someone for help. And he literally, his friend didn't have to do this, but his name's Dean Bakari. Shout out to him. He has a podcast, The Meaningful Show. He literally just like talked to me on the phone for about an hour, and I just took notes, and he told me how to get started.
Nice.
Which was really nice. He didn't have to do that. He didn't know who I was.
Absolutely.
But he gave me that help, and I just figured it out. And then I kind of play with it. Like, I would say to the listeners, like, the sound quality is not the greatest. I'm learning as I go along. But I think anyone can learn as you go along. Like when you got your first camera, right? Like, you're not a pro at editing and stuff, right?
Absolutely not. And I still am not at all. So
do you edit your photos at all?
Yes, I do. But like I don't have like a professional I don't use Photoshop or anything like that.
So what do you use to edit?
Google Photos.
You edit into Google Photos?
Yeah. So as soon as I upload a photo, it goes straight into Google Photos, and from there it gives you the option to adjust the lighting and stuff like that. So that's where I do that.
So I mean, that's you gotta figure it out.
I do want to get. I want to get more professional with it. I want to get on the Photoshop or some other kind of something like that eventually, so I can do more of like if people want photos like touched up for a wedding or something like that, then I want to be able to do that for them because I can't do that currently.
That's true, and I want to do that too. So, I mean, that's what I want to do with this podcast. Like right now, I edit it for free, with Audacity and stuff, and I figure it out. But
well, it sounds professional when I hear it. I like the intro and all that stuff.
Oh, who made our intro?
It's our.
He's our cousin.
It's our cousin because he's marrying our cousin Aaron. Ryan is marrying our cousin Aaron, and by the way, shout out to Ryan because he also potentially got me a job. Once his vacation's over, I might be going straight to work with him, and he's an awesome guy. He just overall, like you said, he made the intro for you, and that's just the type of person he is. He just he wants to reach out and help. Well, creative and helpful though, but he really wants to help.
So
people.
Another creator.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ryan helped me with the music.
So how did that come up? How did that happen?
I just listened to his music all the time, and I was like,
yeah, but before you listened to his music, before that, you already had a way to hear his music.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I've seen him play his guitar.
Well, yeah, but I mean, did you have because I know now he does the SoundCloud and stuff like that. But I feel like
sometimes he would post videos on his Facebook.
Yeah,
but I saw
those. Yeah,
I knew he was playing guitar. He would play guitar all the time. So I was just like, yo, would you mind making music for me? And he said, sure. And then he just did it.
Dang.
Shout out. So I mean, and he sent me one time. I said, can you make me an intro song? And he's like, sure. But then he sent me 30 songs.
That's
Because
awesome.
I was like,
That's
he was
right.
like,
That's
he just
right.
wanted like,
Yeah.
I was like,
Take
okay,
one.
first of
Pick
all,
one.
I only needed 1 or 2 songs.
Yeah,
So the rest of these you need to put on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I think I bothered him.
So you might have sparked that for him.
I definitely, I'm gonna give myself a shout out because I think I literally bothered him or texted him for about a good 6 months to say, this is really good. You need to do this.
That's
really
good.
good. You need to do this. And I'm so happy
he's
he did
amazing.
it.
He is.
And I told him, I was like, if you do
can
it,
rap better than he can sing. If you ask me, like I like his singing a lot, but I think he's a really good rapper because he doesn't just rhyme words. You can tell he's thinking about the subject matter underneath the subject matter when he raps.
Yeah.
If you listen to some of his new stuff, absolutely.
Creator.
So you pumped Brian up to get on this. So then he sent you 30 songs.
And I
you're
picked
saying,
2.
Like what? Oh,
I picked 2. I picked one for the intro, one for the outro, and then I had another friend help me edit it and make an intro, like make it like sound like, put his music over, like this is Philip Wilkerson, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just kind of figured that out.
So did he already put it? He already had the vocals on there or anything? So he didn't like redo it?
No.
He just had it.
I told him send me some songs, and then he sent me songs with words in them, and I was like, can you send me songs that just have no words, instrumentals? And he sent me instrumentals, and then I just overlaid it with my words. But it was already, it was dope because it was already like
it's so dope.
music.
It's so dope. Yeah,
So-
he's really good. He's one of my
So I
favorite.
mean,
artists.
and like I said, like a lot of this stuff, a lot of people think that when all they create, like getting your camera, like you got your camera. I tell people all the time, just like if you want to do something, just like figure out how to do it cheap and just start. Like if you like photos but you can't afford a nice camera, take some really good photos with your iPhone. The first couple of my episodes, those random rambles in my car were just with my phone, and I learned how to like take audio off my phone and upload it as a podcast before I have this recorder. And then I just got a mic, and you kind of upgrade while you try.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing your equipment here, which is dope. You brought out your bag, and this looks professional to me. When you first started, where did you get your first equipment? Did you just go to what kind of store
My cousin, my other cousin, BJ, gave me his. I have a microphone at home I use more than this. I barely use this nice recorder, which I need to use it more often.
Yeah, this is
But
cool.
my first recorder, or my first microphone was given to me. My friend, my cousin BJ, he has an extra microphone because he does instrumentals for instructional videos, and he just gave me his old mic. So a lot of this stuff, like I'll be honest with you, a lot of this stuff I just make up as I go along, and people have been really nice to me and just give me stuff or give me free songs or give me ideas or stuff like that. So you just kind of figure it out as you go along. And I think I think that's another way of being creative too, is like if you want to do something, a lot of people, I know they have a lot of excuses, like they're like, I can't do it because I have this certain level to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes just figure it out and like put it together, like be like MacGyver and like figure out what you have at that moment and then get a nicer camera once you get some money.
Yeah, I was gonna go on that. Like my buddy Brent from the Army, he was actually, like I said, I used to take pictures a lot with my phone and do like the disposable camera stuff. But my buddy Brent at the time was like, hey, I see you taking pictures all the time. Why don't you get a camera? I was like, because I can't afford a camera. He's like, have you ever thought about going to a pawn shop and just putting some money down? I was like, not really. So he was the one who told me to do that. And so I did that. I went to a pawn shop, and it's this $200 camera, which I put money down that I could afford at the time. And then my mother-in-law, my wife's mom, for a birthday present was like, how much do you owe on that camera? And I was like 100. And she was like, boom, happy birthday. So she actually is the one that got me my first, put me over the level to be able to get my first camera. And it was just it's that one over there, that Canon, which is base model, and it's old, but it gave me the ability to just mess around
pictures
like you're doing, or to start up with, and then get to the point where I felt like I not know what I'm doing, but I'm comfortable doing it and want to do it more. So
I thought, and this is what another person told me too, is that sometimes when people think they have to start something creative and they start with like the most expensive stuff, you don't get the skills you need. If you like, it's weird. Like you need more skills when you have like cheaper stuff or stuff that's
true.
And then
you have to work harder with
it, and then or figure out different ways. And then once you get the nicer stuff, you appreciate the nicer stuff. So it's like once you get your first camera, they always never encourage someone, like, if you're going to pick up a new hobby, don't pick up a new hobby and get like all the expensive gear unless you're like rich. But like get the stuff that you just need to start. Like get a microphone or use your phone and figure out what's the free software you can use on your computer.
Absolutely.
And then practice those skills, and then eventually you can like get better with more equipment.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, that's how you got started. That's how I got started. I think our family influenced that a lot. Like you were talking about our uncles a little bit and the stuff that they did. I remember seeing our Uncle Alex when I was a kid, when I was younger. There were a couple of VHS tapes floating around. One in particular is called Thingy, Thingy. And it was like his take on the Alien movie. And he did it with a couple of buddies, but it was mostly him doing like the editing and most of the acting, all the parts. And I remember seeing that and how, to me, it was awesome. Like, I know he might be a little embarrassed about some of it, but I mean, as a kid, to me, I was just like, wow, someone from my family can do something like this.
Make a movie.
This is, I mean, and it's not the norm. Let's face it. Like, a lot of our family is a bunch of
weirdos.
Yeah, they're weird. I mean, black nerds. I don't know how else to describe it, but like we do things that a lot of us do things that just aren't necessarily the norm or fit into a certain category, which I think is awesome. I mean, all of us, not just you and me, but like all of our cousins, uncles, aunts, like they all blaze their own path, and they've, I think, in different, your parents with the military stuff, like at the time when they did it, and I don't know all the history on that, but my parents with becoming professors, like all of them in their own ways have just gone after something that people, especially at the time, might have said that's not normal for someone like you to do it.
Right. I agree. And I think that was cool because I remember that movie too. And like, dang, my uncle can make his own movies. And he did that. Or he also like made his own mixtapes. Did you know that? Like he would make his own like horror movie mixtapes where he would just edit clips.
No,
and get
I have not heard that.
I've seen him like literally. He used 2 VCRs. So this is like another instance where he used like low tech technology. He used 2 VCRs and hit record or whatever and made his own mixtapes, like mixed movie tapes, like like, so you see all these people that do it now on YouTube where they like make these like videos probably with the Photoshop he was making it with 2 VCRs.
Wow.
Which probably took him like hours and hours. But I'm saying, like, you're right, that's another example. It's like, dang, our uncles are nerd but creative, and like they're just they're the only part that like makes me not say frustrated is like we're so creative that we probably do a lot of things that like don't get us money, like don't get us paid, but we do so many cool things like I don't know, just really awesome creative things. And I think that's what drives me too, to like do stuff like podcasts or try new things, maybe like find my own lane. Is like when and you talk about your parents or the people before you, as like when you find your own path and you're trying to blaze your own path, like you kind of want to like do it in a way that's like keeping up with what your family's already established. And like one of the biggest things, like accomplishments and achievements, and me joining a historically black fraternity, it was like a lot of things that have done before me. It's like I need to keep up. And like, what lane was that? Okay, academics. Okay, I need to make sure I graduate and get a degree or something like that. Get a job. Okay, yeah, my dad's military, my mom's the doctor. I gotta get a job. Being a parent. Oh, I got good parents. Stuff like that. And then I think that was that one thing. Like, okay, I want to be creative too. Like, what? I'm a nerd too. I like comic books. What's my one lane? Like, I can't draw. So I was like, well, this podcast is my like nerdy thing. This is like my nerdy thing.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I think you're putting too much emphasis on like our other people's creative abilities, because yours is, first of all, anything, since you were a little kid, since I've known you at least, which has been your whole life.
Yeah, my whole life, because you're older than me.
Yeah. When you go for something, you put that major energy into it. Like, it's not a normal, it's like a superhero energy. Now, I'm not just saying that But seriously, like I've known every time it's like I'm gonna go do this, it's like you go all the way in and go hard, and you're one of the people that will be the initiator for anything. Like if it's like a group text, for instance, like you'll be the one to be like, hey cousins, I'm doing a check-in to see how everybody's doing. And I hate that I am not the person to reciprocate it as much, because I've always admired that about you, that you are checking in on people. And what they say is you got to check in on the strong friend, and I say you're the strong cousin. But I think we need to give you more of that back, and like more often, because I know that it just seems like you're able to. I mean, you're able. It's like you're wired to do it, and to do it strong, and to go in hard, and to accomplish whatever you got to do. And just like you said, whether it comes to the school thing, whether it comes to being a dad, a great husband, doing the podcast thing, the historically black college thing, which people like, they don't know how
or
that
black fraternity.
was. I mean, well,
and college. I actually went to a historically black college.
Wow. Well, sorry. So I like that, but either way, the fact that when you go in, like you go all the way in, and that was not an easy task. None of that stuff is easy.
I don't think so.
I don't know if you get that much praise, but I want to say, cause straight to your face, amazed. That's awesome.
Thanks, we got family. Well, dang, that made me blush too, for real. Shout out. Shout out to my cousin.
This
is like the funny. We're just laughing, dog. I'm laughing. Oh,
check in on the strong friend.
Or check in with family.
Yeah, well, not just that, but like the strong friend. So like, while you're the one who's being the rock for everybody all the time, we need to come and check out and make sure that you're doing okay and being supported in the family as well.
I mean, yeah. I can start a GoFundMe. You can support me that way. How about that?
I don't have any money. That's the problem. Maria has all my money. So just that for everybody listening, I never have any money. My wife has it all. I have 2 daughters, and they have all of my money, and I'm okay with that. But don't ask me for money, because I don't have any, because my family. So you can ask my wife for it.
Okay,
She's
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe.
Ask her upstairs. Be like, yo, I need this GoFundMe supported.
I think I need to have like the cause of me just cause. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be me with.
I need this money.
With my hand.
That's why.
My hands
give me
up.
this money.
It's the
What's
GoFundMe
up?
just cause.
What?
So we talked a little bit, and I think we did a roundabout way of talking about. I think the subject of this podcast is family and creativity and whatnot. And so, is there any last minute shout outs and social medias you want to shout out, and art projects that you're working on? Before I interrupt you and give you a shout out, like I said, a couple plugs. Ryan, he's got his brother, the Roseman Brothers.
Oh my
Roseman
God.
Brothers SoundCloud.
Do you know that his before you go into that, do you know his brother right now? And I want to make sure I say this right, so you might need to correct me, but I'm pretty sure that his brother and his partner are on bicycles from North Carolina, riding to Seattle
to
as
visit?
we speak. No, to live. They're moving, but they're doing it on bicycle. Like they're riding across the entire country.
What about the stuff? How to get the stuff?
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
That's some hippie stuff.
Oh,
and white. I want to say that's white people stuff. And
I
Ryan
wasn't
is
going
white.
to go there with that, but what I was going to say was that it's just that level of amazing. But this guy also is the kid that plays the drums for most of the beats. And then there's this other kid, Pierce, that I don't think he's related to them, but if those 3 get together,
so the group is coming out there.
Yeah, they need to just hurry up and do that, because I told him I want to shoot a video for it too. I'm trying to shoot one of his videos.
Either take pictures, do the promos.
I mean, the thing is, he doesn't even seem like he cares about that stuff, but I want him to, like you do. I want him to, like, hey man, you're so talented, do that. Sorry, that was a random.
No, it's not random, because that's what I feel like sometimes too, like that supporting other people. Like when you see that they have talent that you wish you had.
Yeah, I'm like, man, you can rap like that. Do it.
That's what
you can dunk a basketball. Like, come on, you dunk a basketball too.
Yeah.
Like,
so when you see someone else that has a talent that you want.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I have the tendency to like force them to use it. So like I was like, why are you wasting it?
Yeah.
Use it. I guess so. Ryan, if you're listening to this,
yeah, he already knows. I did.
We got your promo. we got you're doing my intro.
You know what?
You're in my podcast.
Also, cousin Erin too. You need to sing a couple of those hooks because
she can sing.
She can sing. They can make videos together. It's so beautiful. Like the whole family.
That's talented.
Yeah.
So Lois, just send her out there. She looks good.
Oh man,
Lois
will kill it.
She'll be in the videos. Like basically, the whole family can be talented. So like, what we.
Not to mention every other cousin.
So kind of roundabout way, shout out is that Ryan's music. He's on SoundCloud, which I always put his SoundCloud in the show notes. That's my plug. Is there anything else you want to plug?
Well, I just want to say a shout out to our entire family. Right now, we are currently doing this podcast on a family reunion, a vacation in the Outer Banks, and not every single cousin can make it, but to the ones that are here, to the ones that who can't be here, we love all of you, and this is, I feel like I'm blessed every day to be in the family that I'm in. I mean, we're not perfect. No family is. But honestly, like you said, just the different things that they're good at and the love is there. The love and support, the basement of that is there. And I feel like it's amazing. Shout out to all my friends, too, who aren't family but feel like family. And you all know who you are, so I'm not even going to do that.
His Asheville crew.
Well, not just Asheville. But
your Seattle crew
mostly,
too.
Yeah, Seattle crew, Asheville crew, but
military
also
crew,
military, all those guys all over the world. Some of them still in the service as well. So, I pray for those guys every day. But yeah, so I guess that was a lot of shout outs.
Yeah, and so if you like this podcast,
shout out to you, cousin Phil. Because this is your podcast, and thank you for finally letting me on this thing. Not like you were holding me back or anything like that. No. I think you would be willing to take a phone interview, but
yeah, for sure.
But this is again. You think your level of cool to me is all the way up here.
No.
I don't think you give yourself enough credit for that. It's just a different outlet. That's all it is. Like that's all it is. Everybody is good at something. Maybe not everybody's good at something, but you're really good at this. You're really good at the being a dad, the CrossFit thing, like husband, an all-around good person trying to make other people feel good every day. And people don't give you enough shout out for that. But seriously, I love it when I see one of your videos post when you're just walking around the office corner and you're handing somebody the Ill Phil Award and you can just see their face light up. Because first of all, they know what it is. A lot of them, maybe some of them don't always know.
Some people are like, what is this?
But
yeah, paper.
But still, it's like at least the cameraman might know. So it's just great to see their reaction coming off of it. It looks like a genuine thing that you really like to just see people be happy and feel good and being uplifted. And there's not enough of that in the world, especially today. So please keep it up.
I'll try. And so if you like this podcast, kind of wrap it up. If you like this podcast, make sure you share it with your friends or like the Facebook page or what else? Write a review. Or if it's bad, write a bad review. I don't care.
Yeah,
you could do that. That's cool. My LB, my line brother John, he is helping me. If you want a shirt or a hat, you can rock that positivity movement. I'll put the link to those in the show notes. And we're out.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Positive Philter, a podcast that focuses on family, friends, career, with a little self-help along the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends. And like the Facebook page, Spreading Positivity Movement. Thanks for listening.